It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Conversations with Joan. Conversations with Joan will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life's Conversations with Joan. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Conversations with Joan focuses on topics that are important to your life, from health and wellness to professional development to personal well-being. Change makers join me to share their insights, tips, and strategies so you can thrive and live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. Now, let's start talking. Are you looking for ways to jumpstart your journey to better health, happiness, and a longer life? Today's guest, Dan Buettner, has traveled the globe where he's met and cohabitated with people of all ages and experiences to better understand how the way they live contributes to their overall health and longevity. Dan is the founder of the Blue Zones, through which he has revealed secrets of the world's happiest places. Now in his new book, The Blue Zones Challenge, a 4-week plan for a longer, better life, he shows that a long, healthy life is possible. Dan joins us today to discuss tips and tricks from the Blue Zones that can help you change your diet, increase activity, and live your purpose. Welcome, Dan. Thank you so much for joining us.
What a treat to be here.
So, Dan, your work has been around something called Blue Zones. For those who may be unfamiliar with the term, what is a Blue Zone?
So, about 20 years ago, on assignment for National Geographic and with a grant from the National Institutes on Aging, we set out to, in a sense, reverse engineer longevity. So instead of looking for the answer to living a longer life in a test tube or petri dish, we hired demographers to span the globe and identify areas where people are living statistically, verifiably the longest. And many of these places, people are making it to their hundreds at the highest rates. They have the highest life expectancy, but mostly they're avoiding the diseases that foreshorten our lives, like diabetes and obesity and heart disease and dementia. So we know these people have achieved the outcomes we wanted, and the Blue Zone Project really set out to find out exactly what these people are doing and distill it in a way that, people back home can actually put to work in their lives.
And where are the Blue Zones located?
The longest lived women in the world are in Okinawa, Japan. The longest lived men are in the highlands of Sardinia, Italy. We found an island in Greece called Ikaria, where people are living 8 years longer, but without dementia. In the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, we found an area where people are reaching a healthy age 95 at about twice the rate of Americans are, spending 1/15 the amount we do on healthcare. And then in America here, we found the longest livers among the Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda, California.
After studying these people, what have you learned? What do they know that the rest of us don't?
The ironic answer is nothing. And that's the point of this Blue Zone Challenge, because people who actually make it to 100 are not trying. They're not on some heroic diet or doing CrossFit or calling an 800 number, buying supplements. They're living their life. And the key insight here is that if you want to live longer, don't try to change your behavior, because you'll probably fail in the long run. The secret is to shape your environment so the healthy choice is the easy choice, which is not only how people in Blue Zones achieve making it to 100, but it's the premise of the Blue Zone Challenge, how to set up your life so that longevity ensues.
Tell us about the Blue Zones Power 9.
Yeah, the idea was that we found the common denominators, 9 common denominators among the people who actually live the longest. And we arrived at this through doing meta-analysis and using epidemiology. So no matter where you go in the world and there are long-lived people, first of all, they're eating mostly a whole food, plant-based diet. Very high in, brace yourself, complex carbohydrates like beans, nuts, greens, and grains. We know they can identify their sense of purpose. People who have a sense of purpose live about 8 years longer than people who are rudderless. They put their family first. They tend to belong to a faith. We know that adds 4 to 14 years. They practice sacred daily rituals like prayer, meditation, and even taking naps, which reverse stress. and they have strategies for setting up their kitchen so they're mindlessly eating fewer calories. And therein lies, I think, the big idea.
So, Dan, you claim that if a person is overweight, suffering from diabetes, heart disease, or even several kinds of cancer, it's probably not our fault. What do you mean by that?
Well, most of us were around in 1980. In 1980, 15% of Americans were obese. Today, it's over 45%. So think about that. We have 3 times more obese people today. And is that because we've lost discipline, or somehow we have less self-control than people did when Ronald Reagan was in office? And my answer to that is no. But what has changed is our environment. There are 20 times more fast food restaurants than there were in 1980. Over 50% of every retail outlet in America, from where you get your tires changed to where you buy your diabetes medicine, force you through a gauntlet of soda pops and sugar-sweetened candies and chips. And, you know, we are genetically hardwired to crave fat, crave salt, and crave sugar. But historically, through evolution, we lived in an environment of scarcity and hardship. And now we live in this toxic food environment that just pushes these ultra-processed, meaty, cheesy foods in our faces. And it's our discipline, it overwhelms discipline, it overwhelms our ability to make good choices. And what we do in the Blue Zone Challenge is at least help you set up your immediate environment so the choices are positive.
You know, listening to you, I'm probably going to date myself, but I've lived through the time when the things you mentioned, going out for fast food or something, that was a treat. That wasn't the norm. So, you know, I think it's probably going to be reclaiming some of those things back, cooking meals and you know, reclaiming the things that our parents did.
So you make a really good point. People in blue zones, they treated themselves. They had festivals, and on Sunday after church, they ate some meat. But on average, they're eating meat only 5 times a month. Sweets were reserved for special occasions. You know, we eat 1,100 meals a year. And what I submit to people in the Blue Zone Challenge is treat yourself 100 of those meals. But the 1,000 other meals where you're just getting up in the morning, getting food in your belly, or powering through the day, let me help you engineer those 1,000 meals that aren't all that important so that they're 15 or 20% healthier. And you'll live longer because of that. If you're eating a whole food, plant-based diet, you can expect to live about 6 more years than eating the standard American diet. And those years should be without disease.
Dan, many of us go from one diet to another, especially this time of year when we start out strong, but before long we fizzle out and tend to fall back to our old patterns. But what you're challenging us to do is to enact change that is more sustainable.
Yeah, not a lifestyle, it's how to shape your surroundings. So we know, I've worked for National Geographic, I've done the research. The most successful diets ever invented fail for 97% of people within 2 years. And I've learned from studying longevity now for 20 years that there's no short-term fix. You have to be doing the right thing and avoiding the wrong thing for decades to avoid getting heart disease and diabetes and cancer, these diseases that over 85% of Americans have right now. So what the Blue Zone Challenge does is it marshals in about 30 evidence-based ways for you to set up your home, your kitchen, your bedroom, your work life, your social life, which is very important. We can talk about that. And to sense your internal life so that the healthy choice is the default. And you don't have to take the Blue Zones Challenge, put 4 weeks into it, we'll take you by the hand, and after that you can forget about it.
How do the tests that you include in the book help us change?
So let me tell you something for sure. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So with Blue Zone Challenge, we have a QR code there that will take you right to a sophisticated algorithm called the True Vitality Test that will calculate your life expectancy and tell you exactly, diagnose you and tell you what you could be doing to live longer. And then it'll help you set up your environment. People used to think that weighing yourself was a bad idea. Not true. We know that especially women, but it works for men too, who step on a scale every day. After 5 years, they weigh about 12 pounds less than people who don't step on a scale. So part of the Blue Zone Challenge is to put a bathroom scale in your bathroom, in your way, so you're stepping on it every day.
Can you share with us a few of your favorite recommendations from the book?
Yeah, this is going to be counterintuitive and it's going to seem hard, but let me tell you, it's the best thing you can do. We know that if your three best friends are obese or overweight, there's about 150% better chance that you'll be overweight yourself. So the Blue Zone Challenge takes you through a process, and this is hard for people in the Middle Ages, to find, we call it a Blue Zone buddy, or the Okinawans call it a moai, a small group of people who will take the challenge with you. And if you proactively bring people in your immediate social circle whose idea of recreation is walking or playing pickleball, who care about you on a bad day, who naturally eat plant-based food and know how to make it delicious, that is measurably contagious. And because friends tend to be long-term adventures, they have a long-term influence on you, and we know that's measurable. That's one of the best health strategies you can make, though. Instead of starting a new diet, we want you to make a new friend or enrich in a friendship that you already have and take this Blue Zone Challenge with them.
And Dan, we've been talking about the positive things we can be doing, but what are some of the no-nos? What are some of the things we should learn to avoid?
So in the Blue Zone Challenge, we have the 4 foods you should always have on hand and the 4 foods you should never have on hand. So we're not saying you can't treat yourself out of the house, but you take care of about 70% of the problem if you're not bringing junk food into your house. And the worst offenders are, number 1, soda pops. Sugar-sweetened beverages, the biggest source of refined sugar in the American diet. And I hate to say that also includes fruit juices, not good for you, and these sort of power drinks. The second food is processed meat, your lunch meats, your hot dogs, your bratwurst, etc. The World Health Organization puts those in the same category as cigarettes, as a known carcinogen. Packaged sweets, not to say that you shouldn't treat yourself once in a while, just don't bring those into your house. And then finally, salty chips, even potato chips. I'll admit to you right now, I eat potato chips, but potato chips are most highly associated with obesity. So you want to step out to a friend's house or enjoy a small bag of potato chips every now and again, do it outside your house. It'll make a big difference, and it doesn't require willpower if you can't reach them.
You know, sometimes we feel like there are so many things that are outside of our control. But what you're teaching us is that we have tremendous power over the way we live.
Every person listening right now has control over their kitchen. And Blue Zone Challenge gives you a dozen ways to set up your kitchen so you'll mindlessly consume 150 fewer calories every day, and the calories you do eat will be healthier. With this pandemic, people are coming home. They're not eating in restaurants as much. And one of the most powerful things you and your family can do this January 1st is to take a plant-based cookbook. I wrote the Blue Zone Kitchen, but there's lots of other and I have recipes in the Blue Zone Challenge, but there's lots of other good ones. Page through it, identify a half a dozen recipes you think that your family would like, and learn how to make those. Once you find that healthy plant-based food tastes good to you, I don't need to tell you it's going to make you live longer. You're going to want to eat it because it's cheap, it's delicious, and it makes you feel much better than eating a meaty, cheesy, processed meal.
We've all been through a lot with the pandemic, and many people have been looking for ways to boost their immune system. What you're teaching has the added benefit of doing that.
I wrote a story for National Geographic not long ago on the diet of longevity. And one of the biggest findings is that our microbiome, those 100 trillion bacteria in our gut, which weigh, by the way, about 8 pounds, they provide something for us called short-chain fatty acids, which keep our immune systems finely tuned. It mutes inflammation and even makes our mood better. The only thing those healthy bacteria consume is fiber. And the standard American diet, your pizzas and burgers and pizzas, have little or no fiber. The Blue Zone diet shows you how to make healthy, fiber-rich food absolutely delicious. Mostly soups and stews. You don't even realize you're getting the best supplements in the world by eating a hearty bowl of my Sardinian minestrone, for example.
The book is The Blue Zones Challenge, a 4-week plan for a longer, better life. Dan, where can our listeners go to get more information about you and your work?
Well, the book, you can get it on Amazon.com. It's the third best-selling book in America right now. And I love it when people follow me on Instagram. I'm at Dan Buettner. And if anybody has questions, I answer everyone personally. So at Dan Buettner.
And Dan, in our final moments, what's the takeaway? What would you like to leave our listeners with?
If you want to be healthier or happier this year, don't try to change your behavior because you'll fail in the long run. Change your surroundings. And the Blue Zone Challenge will help you do just that.
Dan, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure having you on the show.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided is the opinion of our guest and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, CYACYL.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on our site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, sign up for our mailing list, and be sure to follow the show on social media. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.